I'm going to create a calculate damage function first. So I'll simply name it calculate damage here. And this shall be a function which expects two arguments, the minimum and the maximum damage we want to have as borders for this random number. Here I then want to return this function here where I do calculate my damage. I want to return this using the maximum and minimum I'm passing to this function here. With that, I can remove that and simply say damage equals this calculate damage and pass 3 and 10, the minimum and the maximum. Much easier. I can now do the same for the monster here, where I also can remove all of that and simply reduce the player health by this calculate damage and now 5 and 12. That would be a possibility how we can write this here too, to make this code even shorter. So with that, I have refactored my damage calculation. Now I want to check if I won. So here I will add a new function, which I'll name check win. This will be a function where I want to execute the code checking if we lost or won. So what I do here is I copy my code from up here if the monster health is smaller than 0, in which case I don't only want to throw an alert, let's say, but I want to ask the user if he wants to start a new game. So I'll show the confirm dialog, and I want to check the result of the dialog by running if confirm. Confirm again is a built-in function offered by JavaScript, giving us this yes or no dialog, which we can click then. And here I show you one new game, in which case, if this is true, so the user clicked yes, I want to call this start game. Otherwise, if the user did not call this or did not want to start a new game, I only set game is running to false, but we don't start a new game. I always want to return here because I also have an else block here. Specifically, a else if block, because here I want to check if the player health is smaller or equal to 0, not the monster health. In which case we lost. So here I'll copy the code from above. You lost, new game, and then again this start game. And yes, you could refactor this even more, but I want to keep this easy to read and to understand what's happening here. Now here, in this case, I want to return true actually, the same up here. And only if we satisfy no condition down here, I want to return false. Why do I want to return a boolean here? Because the place where I execute check win up here, I need to check if we should continue in this function or not. So I will check if this check win returns true, which is always the case if we either lost or won. So if we return true here, I know I don't want to continue the code execution here because the game is over. So I don't want to deal damage again. We instead either started a new game or did nothing. So here, if we have a return true, I know I have to return from this function so that we don't execute the code anymore. At the end of the function, I again will have to check if we won, but here I can only say this check win because there is no code getting executed after this function. So no need to return in case we lost or won because yeah, nothing's happening after calling this function. With this in place, let's save this, reload and see if this still works. I click attack until we, oh, this is a close one, but until we lost, I guess. You won. Yeah, we were really lucky. I can now click OK. Let's try it again. You lost, okay, and then cancel, so we get one dialog too much. And this, of course, is from this check here, which I also have to remove. So, with this, our code here is much more readable, and we refactored it to also use it in our other functions, which are to follow here. With that, we're able to attack. Now it's also time to implement our special attacks and, well, heal and so on to really make this game a bit more flexible and give us a higher chance of winning.